is having a great Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everyone have a great Thursday and that you just have a successful day. I want to give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ before I get too far into this. I always want to acknowledge God each and every day, and because He's so awesome, He's so great, and I pray that this content will be enriching and be have some value in it and everything. I'm not gonna be on here long, but I need to start taking out and doing longer vids. But just wanted to have some thoughts about Colorado football. As you can see, where does Colorado go from here as far as, they got the big win against Iowa State. I thought that they could beat Iowa State. I believe that they really needed it. Had they got a loss, they're on a bye week this week, so they don't play this week. That would have sucked. That would have really sucked to end on a loss. But you got to play the game, and there's no guarantees. And I want to, what I'm gonna start doing, and I got this idea from another YouTuber, Will. I forgot his last name. It's not coming to me right now, but I really get good content from him, and he usually have a business aspect to everything that he shares, and so I want to do something similar. I want to have not necessarily a business aspect, but I want to have a life application aspect, I guess. Maybe even a spiritual aspect. And concerning Colorado football, Coach Prime has gone through, I think, 16 surgeries due to his health, blood clots, and he just recently had his kidneys removed, and did a surgery concerning that because they found something going on. I think it was cancers, and just he's been through a lot health-wise, and that's life. Sometimes life can come like that, though he's had many successes in his life. He's had a lot of challenges in his life, and that's what I kind of want to talk about with the Colorado football. They're kind of going through a little bit of adversity, concerning the season, concerning the quarterback situation in the beginning. Was it going to be Salter? Was it going to be Staub? Was it going to be Juju, the true freshman? How was he going to do it? And then there was one time where all three of them got a chance to get in there and play. And in that particular game, Staub outshined the other two. So then he started the next game. Well, during the next game, it didn't go so well. CU did lose. Colorado lost. Didn't go so well. So then he went back to Salter. Salter started the season, and just to be fair and honest, Salter is the only quarterback on the team that has any significant playing time and experience in playing in games. Staub was, Shador's backup, but he really hadn't had a lot of time out there like Salter. Salter had a whole season, last couple of seasons I think he was with Liberty last couple. So he's had plenty more experience, and he's a dual threat. And that's the reason why Coach Prime and the staff went after him, because they knew his value and what they was trying to do with this team this season. They was wanting to establish the run. They wanted to be able to run the ball, and just being honest, in college football, you got to be able to run the ball. You can't just throw it, all over the place. You got to be able to run as well. You gotta be, mix it up, be able to mix it up. I'm not gonna necessarily say you got to be balanced, because what is balance, But you just gotta be able to mix it up. You gotta be able to get the defense off balance and make them think, where they're not just on your game the whole game. So, because the running game can open up other things, So, that's the reason why they went out there. And Salter has had some adversity. He's had some adversity. Colorado football has had some adversity. Coach Prime has had some adversity. And who knows, as far as the staff, the coaches on staff, on their personal lives, who knows the things that they might have been going through that we don't know, because they're not featured, because they're not the head coach. They're not featured like Coach Prime is, So things not gonna come out like with Coach Prime and the team in general, or the quarterback, because that's the most important position on the team. So those things are gonna come out, But through it all up to this point, Salter, in my opinion, had his best game against Iowa State. He had his best game. And that tells me that, he kind of got a breakthrough, so to speak, as far as maybe mentally, maybe, and he kind of alluded to it, that, when he got benched and Staub, was the starter in that Nets game, it kind of messed with his mental, But see, that's where, life happens sometimes, where things may not always work out the way that you want it to work out. You may have to go through a little something to get stronger, to realize that, hey, I can't take things for granted. Things not just gonna fall in my lap. I gotta work for it. I gotta put effort into it. I gotta get better with this or get better with that, or whatever the case may be. And so I think that's what CU has been going through, where, they talked about accountability. When they lost 3 games that they probably could have won. They probably should have won. That's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. But you got to go back to the drawing board and regroup and say, hey, we got to be accountable to one another. First of all, I got to be accountable to myself. Then be accountable to one another and hold each other accountable. And then somebody needs to step up as a leader. And because player-led teams usually do better than teams that are not player-led teams. It can't be all on the coach. Now, when the chips is down, when it's all said and done, if the season goes south, then they're going to look at the coach. That's just the way it is. But the bottom line is that a good team is led by their own teammates, because the teammates holds water a little bit even more effective than the coach can sometimes, because they're peers. And if their peers is doing what they're supposed to do and they get on the others, then they realize, man, hey, we do have to step it up. I do need to improve upon some things. I do need to get better with this or that, And so I think that's what CU is going through. They finally got a breakthrough against Iowa State. I think it was Salter's best game. I think it was the defense's best game. I think it was the offensive best game. I really do. I think it was just a better game, the best game that CU has played. And the thing of it is that what's scary is that was a better game that they had played, but the game that they lost, they were right there. You know, they were right there to win. So I think these guys are gonna go on a winning streak. It's all up to them. Don't mean that it's gonna automatically happen. They still got to do the things that they need to do. So we'll see. After this bye week, we'll see what type of team that they are when they go up against Utah. All right. So that's all I have. Let me see who's in here. Hello. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? Okay. All right. I appreciate you chiming in. Appreciate your likes. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate that. Thank you for chiming in. I'm getting ready to get off, but I hope that you have a great, blessed day on this Thursday. All right, blessings, everybody. Have a great one now. All right.